We're clapped in.
I saw that.
Pull that thing up to your mouth.
Who? What thing? Oh, this thing? You tell me how to use a microphone?
You like that?
That's awesome.
There's a nice little jab.
Straight
right?
up the bat. I'm going to show you do some kettlebells afterwards, you fucking asshole. That's awesome. Put it to my face.
It's still away from you.
It's fucking close enough. I'm really loud. See? I know what I'm doing. You don't.
Quit buttering his nuts, Ryan. Enough.
I'm very piercing into a microphone. I know.
That's good.
Hey,
well,
I'm over
job.
here and I'm still fucking annoying as hell.
Yeah, but you start looking around the place, we're going to have audio loss.
Dude, this is not going to go well. If you're going to critique my fucking radio skills from the start.
Well, let's I know I'm not certain of who listens to my show, other than the fact I think it's like 80% dudes. But I am nearly positive that a vast majority of Aubrey's listeners listen to this show. So I don't want to, as much as I want to have that same show, I don't want to have that same show. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, because of the fact that your show on Aubrey's was really what made me a fan of you. And we'll link to that in the show notes, so we don't have to rehash it. But like, that really was a fucking beautiful show that you did with Aubrey.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad we're not going to talk about that. That's awesome. Let's talk about, we're going to talk about fighting and shit?
Yeah, let's talk about fighting and shit.
Cool.
And let's also talk, I do want to get, we just had your boy Matt Catherwood on the show right before you. Yeah.
I love him.
He's such a great guy.
Right?
Such a great guy. But I do want to get kind of at least the background on how you got into radio and all that, and your appearances on Stern and what that led to you having your own radio show and getting here with podcasting.
Okay. Radio was more of an accident. I did say one time when I was younger that I felt that I had potential to move into radio because I always knew that I could talk. I was always a bit of a talker. But that was more of a joke that I would make, like, oh, when I retire from skateboarding, I'll be in radio. And then it was just flat out, Tony Hawk got a radio show, and it was a odd relationship where I was more of a party kind of, I wouldn't say punk rock because I wasn't into punk rock. I was into metal, but I was definitely a dark horse of skateboarding, and Tony Hawk is the Tony Hawk of his skateboarding. And me and him became friends because he's kind of a sick fuck. Like, he's kind of into really tweaked humor and stuff. So me and him became friends. And then he said to me, do you want to be a co-host of my radio show? I'll pay you. And I was like, why would I not want to do that? That sounds awesome. And I didn't know that he thought that I'd be good at it. But the day I did it, the first day I did it on his show, as soon as I started, I knew it. I was like, oh my God, I'm good at this. And I remembered skateboarding and all the other things that I've dabbled and given my life to try and figure out how to be good at it. And all of them were way harder from the start than this. This was the first thing I ever did where I went, I'm like Tony Hawk on this. Like, this is natural to me. Skateboarding was a prick. I sucked at it. I was the worst at it. I just kept going. So when I did that, and then the bosses were there because they were there to kiss Tony's ass, they were like, who the fuck is this guy? And then one of the guys said, hey, man, you're doing really good. Turn it up a little bit after the break. Let's see what you got. And I remember thinking it started to feel like I'm being used as an athlete again. Like, they're like, this guy's got something. And I was like, do I? Like, oh man, like, cool. I'm cool. Am I cool again? I've got a gift again. So, and it was one that was, longevity. Like, you're an athlete. That whole thing where I was like, I don't want to stop being good at skateboarding. It's tough to get over. I really didn't want to not ever be really good at that, but it happens. And then radio, I was like, man, I might be able to die doing this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even that far-fetched that I could just be like, and fucking die. That was my job all the way.
There's a lot of old farts on the radio, even on TV. Look at how long Larry King's done it. Yeah.
He's got a fucking farm. Cowboy. It tells whatever he wants. That sounds cool.
Hell yeah. When did you get with Sirius?
That was it. It was his show was on Sirius XM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you already had the in?
I've never been on terrestrial radio. I don't know how that works. I've been told by my bosses that I don't realize how lucky I have it, because in terrestrial you have more bosses and you obviously can't talk the way I talk. So from the start, I didn't have any terrestrial ability, which kind of made it more attractive to listeners, I think, because you got Sirius XM and there was this guy that talked like he'd never been on radio before podcasting was big. So fuck this and blah, blah, blah about my life. I was very honest from the start. So I think that's why it worked. But it was a music channel. I got a DJ job. I was just supposed to talk in between songs for like 1 minute. And then I kind of just talked longer and I kind of get yelled at and I didn't really care because I was still a skateboarder. So I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, you're
and then
a suit.
I'd talk longer. Yeah. And then I had a meeting in New York and I was like, I'm sick of everyone fucking telling me to stop talking. Everybody calls, everyone says they want me to keep talking. Why don't you just let me talk? And he just said, all right, how long do you want to talk for? And I was like, I want to talk like an hour and then play a song and then another hour. He's like, okay. And I was like, really? He's like, yep. I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you later. Yep, see you later. I'm like, fuck, did that just happen? And that was it. Just kept going and turned into a radio show. And I had a really giant attitude where I told everybody, fuck you, and don't give a fuck, and I'll play this and I'll do that. And all the bosses hated me. And they didn't fire me. And everybody just freakishly listened. And I had millions of people that listened accidentally from me talking about fucking Slipknot cereal and shit, just being super high and saying weird shit.
And I mean, my brother-in-law, a lot of people got turned on to you through Howard. How'd you get hooked up with Howard?
I got, there was a comedian friend of mine, Bob Levy. He's like an older guy, East Coast, like really weird, like tough guy comic, like old school version, I feel. And he was on the show a bit and he was friends with Stern and been on the Stern show a bunch. And he said, I was trying to get on there and he's like, you got to pitch him a bit. And he came up with the idea, not me. I would wish I could take responsibility for it, but he was like, you should try challenging another guy on there who is also uncircumcised to how many M&Ms you can put in your foreskin. And, you know what I mean? They'll love it.
Aubrey loves this.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, I keep forgetting that dude brings that up in
Aubrey
front of
brings
girls to make me seem like I would be fun in bed or attractive. He looks at me like I just gave you a compliment in front of these ladies by saying you put candy in your dick and spin it around on a Howard Stern show. I'm like, I don't feel like everybody wants to fuck that guy, but whatever. He's like,
yeah, it's working.
You put all kinds of M&Ms, put tires in there. Just keep saying.
Yeah, he always ups the ante. He's like 50 peanut M&Ms or 50 golf
Jolly
balls.
Ranchers, whatever you want to say. But so he pitched it. Well, he said pitch that, and as soon as I did, they said they love it. And we want you to come, and got flown in and got like a bunch. They do like interviews before the interview, like 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very serious. So I was like, man, this is really crazy. And it was kind of, it's that same as skateboarding to me. I was like, I got put in with the big dogs, and this is where I go right now. Like, this is everything to me. Like, I was so fucking nervous, but also super amped. Like, I did push-ups in the green room. I was not fucked, which would suck because it made my dick smaller.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. But at the same time, I was like, I was so past trying. I just wanted I wanted everyone to listen to my show by doing so good on the Howard Stern show. That was the fucking whole point. So my penis didn't really count. Maybe when I first took all my clothes off and it was like in front of Stern, I don't take my clothes off in front of people. I kind of do now, but not then. And I'm just like, man, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like this better work because this is a tad humiliating. Like some dude's like trying to hold my foreskin to get more M&Ms in there. And I'm like, oh my God. I hope this is a really successful thing, because you can't tell. It's just those people in there. They're laughing, but I don't know. But I tried to be as funny and as quick-witted as I could involving while my dick was out, and I felt like they liked it and they wanted me back. And people started listening to the show more because they were like, hey, man, that was really cool. Didn't even know you had a show. So that helped a lot. And then he had me on a couple of times. So that goes a long way too.
That's awesome. And when did you start your podcast? Because you had Ellistronics first and then...
I didn't even want to do that, but Aubrey said you should have a podcast. I'm like, I have a radio show. He's like, you should have a podcast too. Wouldn't hurt. You could make some extra money. And I was like, really? He's like, I'll pay you. I'm like, oh, well, then yeah, I'll have a podcast. So I had a podcast, and it was with Tully, and then I was going to have Kevin on it, another guy that works on the Jason Ellis show, And I was like, we're going to do it at my house. And they're like, yeah, I don't want to go to your house. And I'm like, okay, well, it's for money.
That's so LA.
I was going to pay you.
You could be 20 miles away from somebody and they're like, no, that's going to take an hour and a half to get to you.
And we're talking, they were 3 miles away. But anyway, I said, okay, well, then I'll do it by myself. And it was kind of scattered, no real plan, just busy doing my other show, you know? And then I would just do this by myself for an hour. And I just didn't think it was that good. I felt like I needed more organization. I felt like there was a social media part of it that was missing. And the more I focused on it, the more I was trying to find a change. And that's where Mike Catherwood came in, because I know him to be a great radio personality, a talented guy who, we started lifting weights together, and I told him about the podcast thing. He's like, I know these guys Control Forever that do like crazy media and visual and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, why don't we talk to them? He's like, I'd do a show with you. And I'm like, you would? And then I thought, I don't want to half-ass anything, you know?
Yeah.
So let's just fucking go as hard as we can. And as soon as we started, I don't think we really knew what we were going to do. But I think it's starting to evolve into something that might not be the most popular avenue, but I don't care about that. Like, I did that. I've done that more than anybody. I've been trying to be popular my whole fucking life. I got it. I get it. I mean, it's pretty good. It's fun. I got some free shit. It's awesome, but it's not what it's about. I don't care anymore. And I got a job, so I don't have to uphold any shit for you. I can just give it to you the way I want to give it to you. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But this shit is trying to help people. I feel like Catherwood is one of those people who's a straight man that really understands that community, like the gay and lesbian and trans people, and has a really kind heart for all walks of life. So it makes him super understanding, and he wants to dive into stuff that most of the time when I do shows, people don't want to get into that because it's not their cup of tea or whatever that is. And I get that, but I'm trying to help those people that you don't know about that think that nobody cares about them and thinks that they're wrong for existing.
Yeah, so I think that's a big one.
I really like the podcast for that. We're going to do other stuff too, but that bit I feel like is the most important part to me.
Yeah, I was talking with Mike about the importance of that. Paul Chek brought up this prostitute archetype, and I know I'm beating a dead horse here to my listeners, but the quick of it is the prostitute archetype used incorrectly is when you do something you don't like with no means to an end. You just continue to do it. A 40-year-old stripper who knows nothing else, or even a fucking 50-year-old fighter who can't get out of the game, right? There's no transitionary period. I'm going to do this as long as I can. And who gives a fuck about what happens after that? Then you have the prostitute archetype where you do the thing you don't like as a means to the end. That would be the stripper who saves up to go to college or whatever, any avenue, right? But it goes in tandem. Like, you don't have to have the job you don't like and save up all the while to transition. That works too. But you could still do something. Maybe you'd like it, maybe you don't. But then you have your true passion on the side of that, and that goes in tandem. And that doesn't even have to pay the bills, right? It could just be something you really fucking enjoy. And as long as you're doing that, you're able to be creative. You feel like you have a voice. Right. You feel like you can fucking express yourself in a way that maybe you can't in your everyday day-to-day work.
Right. I feel like if people don't use that creative, then they don't know it's gone. They don't know they were supposed to be using it.
Yeah.
You know, like some people just get stuck in that little rut. I mean, a lot of people do, where they're just like, I just do this miserable job and I take it every day and I wake up, it's not that great. Everybody else's life is probably better, but I'm still showing up, and that's your existence. I'm not about that.
That's hard living.
I know so many people in Australia that did that, you know, that inspired me more to, I got a job and I got a plane ticket and I got the fuck out of there because I was like, I'm not going to do that. I could tell I was always thinking of stuff. I was living in the complete opposite dimension of everybody else. I was like, go 9 to 5, go. I was like, I'm going to be, going to do, going to create, going to do this. I used to take time off school and just hide in an alleyway from 9 till 3, no problem. Just sit on the ground and just think of skateboard tricks. I could just see them.
You wouldn't practice skating?
Well,
You just visualize?
I didn't want to get caught.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was so ridiculous, but I was so bad at lying and stuff. So I just hid in this alleyway because I figured if I got on a train or something that somebody's parents or somebody might spot. Saw Jason on the train today, and I'd be fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that worked, but always daydreaming worked good. I could do that good.
Yeah. Well, there is so much to that. You know, like visualization does fucking work. So that's really cool that was kind of how you put the practice work in.
Yeah, I feel like it I still use it. When I used to do really hard tricks when I was really good, I would do it in my head over and over again on the deck. Just keep, and I could talk to you while I was doing it. It's just I was seeing it, doing it, what your hand's going to do, when your timing is, over and over again. And then that's why I would get super angry, because it wasn't working out in my head. It wouldn't make any sense, but I'd be walking up and down on the deck super frustrated because I'm like, I don't fucking know. You do that, you're gonna get fucking knocked out. Damn it, figure it out. People, you watch some guys, they'll do stuff with their fingers and it's their legs. Like you can see them going, trying to figure out shit in their head.
When did you transition into MMA and start getting into more of the fighting background?
That's just from when I did the radio show and started to have a job. I knew that I couldn't, but that was the end of, you're gonna not get paid when people figure that out. And I was already on my way out. So I moved to Temecula and to get a house because I got a wife, she got pregnant. And I found a gym because there was no ramp in Temecula. And I was like, I got to do something. And I'd been getting into watching Pride fights. And I was super into Ernesto Hoost. And, when he fucking beat Bob Sapp, or he lost him, but just a leg kick. I wasn't even familiar with a man that could kick a leg and make a beast stop moving from a kick to the leg.
Hoost is one of the greatest of all time, for sure.
I was so intrigued by this man and how he had this technique that stopped this giant. I mean, I've still never seen anybody more terrifying than that dude when he was in his prime. And that leg kick made that dude stop walking. And I'm like, I got to learn how to do that. And then I met Kit Cope at Carrie and Alicia's wedding. And we became friends. And then I trained with him and Gina Carano. They taught me how to jump rope, taught me how to kick a heavy bag. This video of me kicking a heavy bag and it hurting my shin because I'd never kicked a heavy, I was like, just no idea what's going on. And Gina Carano sparred me and kicked me in the head. And he was saying, crocodile to her. And I'm standing there like an idiot going, the fuck does crocodile mean?
Yeah, that's an Aussie reference.
Giant fucking leg tail hits me in the side of the head. I was like, oh, okay, you guys are doing that. So that got me into that. And I used to drive to Vegas and train with Kit on the weekends. Got in, bug got me. Loved kickboxing. He would beat me up. I thought it was great. And then I went to Team Quest because I lived in Temecula.
Dan Henderson's spot.
Yeah. And I just trained there. And every now and then I'd see, Dan Henderson, and I was familiar with Pride and what he did to Vanderlei not so long ago because it was around that time. And he walked by and I'm like, holy shit, the dudes that are on TV are in this fucking gym in Temecula? No way. And then Ryan Parsons, who was his team guy, he was like, hey man, you skateboarder? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you're pro skateboarder, right? I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, training. I want to learn MMA. He's like, you should train with the team. I'm like, really? Yeah, anytime you want. So now I'm just in team practice. And I met Mayhem, Sokuju. Sokuju was the first person I sparred. He's like,
what?
Yeah. And
damn.
And he's like, big fucking giant. And he's already sweating and shit. I don't know nothing, dude. And he's like, you can throw some punches. And I threw it. And he's like, you throw harder than that. Come on. And I remember like throwing a right hand and hitting him. And he goes, it's good. And me going, it's good? Who are these people? Just freaked out by, and then Mo Lawal was there learning MMA with me. So it was like, I was learning MMA with a guy that was so fucking further ahead of me every step. Because he was this crazy athlete who was this crazy wrestler. And he's like,
incredible wrestler.
What do you mean? How you do? Oh, like this? And I'm like, I don't do it like that.
I love Mo, man. I had a chance to train with him. He's always a student in the game. He just recently retired.
I know. I saw that.
Just a great fucking dude.
He helped me a lot. He helped me. Like, we went through a lot. I broke up with my chick, and him and Soa Palele were like befriending me and be like, and Soa talking about being in prison and, hey man, the only person that came to see me was my chick, man. So remember, you gotta hold on to that shit. And Mo like trying to help me. Like we became friends. Mo broke up with a chick once and called me and was like, what should I do, man? And I'm like, man, we're really like that. Mayhem, Gabe Rudiger, all those people I started training with, but they just let me in, dude. And I just became the worst guy on the team of Team Quest and was super pumped on it.
Yeah.
We're doing sprints. And Ryan would bring up every now and then, there's a fucking retired pro skateboarder over here. If you can't beat this guy, you shouldn't be here. And I'm like,
you're like, thanks for the vote of confidence.
Everybody beat me. But I beat Gabe a couple of times because he was so fucking lazy. That's why I thought I could beat him in the boxing fight in Alice Mania. That's how that whole thing happened. I said something on the radio about.
But you had 3 professional MMA fights. Is that correct?
No, 2.
2. Okay.
Yeah.
And then was that at Ellis Mania or was that?
You mean when I fought Gabe?
Yeah.
When I fought Gabe, I'd had 1 pro fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when did you start putting together the Ellis Manias?
Man, that's got to be 12 years ago, at least. And it was just at Fortune's boxing gym. And the only reason I know Fortune is because Mayhem and Rio Chonin went up to Hollywood and took me there to sharpen my hands because I'm on Team Quest and I'm doing what everyone else is doing. Like, I got to sharpen my hands up for my fight that I'm never going to have. Because at that point, I was just happy to. I'm like, well, you guys are going to sharpen your hands. What the fuck does that do? Like, and then as soon as I met Justin, he's like, how's it going? I was like, how's it going? Where are you from? Melbourne. Where are you from? Sydney. And then me and him became outback friends, and I quit MMA and just became a boxer because he convinced me that all that shit was for pussies and jumping ropes for pussies, speed bags for pussies, warming ups for pussies, rapping's for pussies. What else was for pussies? A lot of stuff was for pussies. So
you guys would just come in and spar?
I just went to the gym and did this and sparred people like before work all the time. I did not know any other way. I did not realize until many years later that I was hurting my friends and I was hurting myself and I was being like super irresponsible with the sport because no offense to him, he's just old school. He didn't want me to be a bad person, but I mean, when I sparred people and I'd go under the rope and he'd be like, hey, knock this cunt out. And I'd go, what? It's 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. We all know him. And he can't hear you say that. What kind of an asshole are you? I'm not knocking this. It's just weird that he would always do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in MMA and certainly in boxing like that there was an old school mentality there, you know, and then now we've seen the shift, obviously, with all the fighters getting hurt pre-fight, specifically in MMA, like the week of or the week before.
Oh.
And yeah, everything takes time to evolve. You know, football did. They used to have leather helmets, all that shit. Hockey, everybody's.
It's that weird thing where you got to
evolving.
say, oh, you kids you guys wear helmets. It's like, and then you got to feel bad because you're in this macho game. You got to feel bad or insecure for not having a helmet on. You know, like, oh, yeah, fuck, I guess I am a bit of a pussy because I got a helmet on. It's like, well, what if I just want to remember tomorrow, you dickhead? Like, how am I a pussy because I want to recall my life?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's so much there because it's such a thing that gets overlooked, and I think when we get into things like that, it's not. You obviously understand you're going to sacrifice your body to do something you love and care about, right? But there is like, it's still like. Maybe I do pay attention to that a little bit, you know,
just a little. Like, if I make sacrifice, I've got no problem making sacrifices, losing days of my existence for the things I love. I did that for skateboarding. I love that more than anybody on the planet, more than any human, more than myself. All I wanted was to be good on that fucking skateboard. Dying for it, dying to win a contest. I would have done that 1,000 times. If I used to try to get I'd make a deal with the devil. Like, I would go do it. Take my soul. Just let me win like 3 contests. Fuck my whole life for it. So when you have that mindset, when you're like 17 to 30, it's not so hard to make, you know, like, oh, I'm going to get hurt if I do this, or I won't walk as much if I do MMA more, or, you know, kick people. I'm like, until I really see, like jiu-jitsu, I'm like, okay, I really see a thing where my knees from skateboarding, my hips, if I keep doing this, I will like not be able to walk properly. Like, I'll probably start to really waddle. I'm like, you probably should let that one go. And it wasn't like my passion anyway, so it's not so bad. But boxing, I can't kick as much anymore, but I can still use my hands and I can still move. Just, you know, and because I'm so old school, I was trained just to punch and stand in the middle. all these new things that I'm learning now. Doesn't matter if I get older. I'm better every day because I just never even tried to cut angles.
Yeah, we were in Cabo and you were talking about that, like that transition and giving the caveat of your age and your experience level and not thinking you're going to rise in the ranks or anything like that, but just knowing like this is something I can continue to learn and be a student of that gives you great satisfaction.
Amazing satisfaction.
Me, you, and John Beer were sitting on the boat on some substances on this yacht, trading war stories, and we immediately shifted into how we hack flow because I think it started with meditation.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So we were talking about meditation and just how you find quiet mind, and like the greatest hack of all time for that is to find something you really love and enjoy doing, and then in that moment you're not thinking of fucking anything else. It's the deepest quiet mind you can ever attain.
Right.
But how boxing now is that for you?
Yeah. No, that's why I've always got to find one. It used to be people would say, "Oh, you're an extremist. You're always going to find something extreme." I'm like, no, I really don't like that word, and I'd rather be into golf because I realize the injuries are not really there. But all I want is to find the thing where I'm in a meditation state. And for me, meditating is hard. If I can hit a heavy bag for 45 minutes, there's a bunch of meditation in there. Like if nobody disturbs me, I have one in my backyard. I can disappear. Every now and then I'll be like, I'm getting my arms getting burned or something, but the sun will remind me that I've been out there, but I'm just doing, if I can move my foot. And I'm like, no, that wasn't right. Keep working on that one. And I'm gone. I'm gone in my little world, whatever it is.
So you've got I'm sure from skating, you've got more injuries than I do.
I'm going to Colombia to get stem cell.
Are you? What are you going to do in Colombia?
I'm getting stem cell on both my knees, my hip.
Are they doing the baby dust?
Doing who? What?
The baby dust? What kind of stem cells are you getting there?
The
shit that's not allowed states. Oh, they have umbilical stateside.
Okay.
So something it's probably cheaper there then. I got umbilical.
They did Chuck Liddell recently, and they're doing Matt Hughes right now.
Okay.
And so I know they're good people.
I had stem cells in the left knee with umbilical, and I think it was fucking incredible. Like absolutely incredible. Right. So there's Ben Greenfield's telling me that there's certain types of stem cells that work better in different parts of the body. Like if you were going to go in the spine, you wouldn't necessarily use umbilical, and maybe that's right or wrong, but there are specific places where it works more effectively. Right. But I love the umbilical.
Yeah, because I had it out of my own back, and they were explaining to me that you're 47 and there's not as many stem cells. You don't have as many. So what we're injecting into you, there isn't really as much as say what we're going to give to you. The amount, I don't know, CCs. It sounded like a fucking shitload of stem cell in all. And then they're like, well, X-ray your hip, and if that needs some as well, because I had some in my hip, but we'll do that as well.
Okay. I'm just like cover all the bases.
Yeah, 5 days just in Colombia getting worked.
That'll be awesome.
That's what keeps things stuck together because they are pretty loose.
I was surprised how well it worked and how quick it worked. We did systemic in the vein, we did in the knee, and we also did intranasal.
What do you mean in the vein?
Like I got plugged, fucking mainline that shit like heroin, and that's supposed to just go kind of where your body needs it.
Yeah.
Most of that I think goes to the gut to heal the gut.
Did you feel it?
I definitely felt it, and here's how I felt it. And I couldn't tell, and I was talking with Dr. Craig Conover, who's I don't need a name drop. He's a doctor for a lot of who's in health and wellness and podcasting and whatever. But he's a great guy. He's Aubrey and that's their go-to guy. But he I don't know if he got this protocol from Dr. Dan Engel, or maybe they're just doing the same thing. But they put like this 6-inch catheter down your nose. And it goes into your nasal sinus cavity, like way deep. Yeah. And they screw in. It's got a little hook, so it screws in the syringe. And we had like 1 milliliter of glutathione and then 1 milliliter of stem cells. And you can feel the pressure build up in that side of the face as they do it. And you have to lay back. Like it's this weird fucking angle you lay back to let it seep in. And that's the other side. And it's for cognitive function, the idea that you're going to get this closest to the brain. So hopefully the brain will have more uptake of it.
Oh.
But stem cells being there to help with CTE and traumatic brain injury and those kind of things. Yeah. And one of the side effects that I wasn't really sure of, I remember I would tell them every week, I'm like, bro, I fucking need like 10 hours of sleep each night. And
wait, you get 10 hours of sleep?
I had to then. I couldn't because of my son, but I'd go take like a 2-hour nap.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that it's kind of like you have, it's not kind of like it is. you have these baby cells, brand new in life in your body. And when they take to become something, it's like they're growing for the first time. So you need extra rest and you need to give them time to take hold. So it was like
the more you rest, the better it works.
Yeah, and pretty light in the training during that time. I'd push myself here and there, test the knee, those kind of things. But it seemed like the pain in my knee went away overnight. And then over time was able to build better range of motion and follow the protocol.
Yeah, I see like a whole new goal in my life now from stem cell. Like at one point I was like, you're just going to keep running until I figured it was any day. I'd just be like, all right, dude, you got to stop. You know what I mean? Like stop doing things where you're smacking yourself on the ground. But I don't feel like that now. I feel like, what stunt will I do when I'm 60? You know, like who will I fight? What's the jump going to be like? Am I going to shoot out of a rocket on the radio? Like, because I don't see me stopping. I don't see why I would have to stop. If I heard it, I'll just get more stem cells. And then and do more testosterone and more HGH and fucking go in the freezing water and the infrared and hip stretch flexors and
fast a little longer.
I just do all of it all day and I feel stronger and better than I did. I feel like I did antidepressants for like 6 years and I felt like that kind of helped age me. And it also gave me this feeling that my body was indeed slowing down and could not keep going at the rate that I like to, like going to the gym every day and go to the ramp for a little bit. If I did, I'd be so sore that I'd have to not do stuff for a couple of days. But once I did the ayahuasca and got off the meds, so I got a better attitude in life because I went through a lot of shit in that 3 days. Because when I talk to you guys and all the other people that do it, it seems like what I did was, I didn't think it was bad, but it sounds like it was bad compared to, like, because all I had was 3 days of hard work. And I was like, that's what I thought I was doing. Hard was going to be really, really tough. And then I was going to feel better after it. And then some people were like, man, it's amazing. I'm like, I don't remember one moment of me going, this is amazing. It's not a word I would use. I'd be like, oh my God. Okay.
We just got back from Soltara and it was me, Tosh, Christian, and Caitlin. And it was awesome. And I say that because of the fact that I appreciate the work, and how hard it is.
Because you were doing some work,
right?
Fucking,
it was 23 through 26, 26 ceremonies. And my 25th was by far the hardest night of my life. By far. I didn't sleep 1 minute. I relived it seemed, and I'm sure it's not but it seemed like every childhood memory that I had a problem with was not only revisited, but it unpacked in a way where it felt like it was happening for the first time. So like the level of fear, the level of pain, the level of sadness.
That's what I did.
It was like, fuck me, there's so much. And I was begging ayahuasca for mercy.
That's what I was doing.
The whole night. And fucking so nauseated. I couldn't puke, but I felt like I had to puke.
Stop, just make it stop. I get it. I say shit like that. Yep. Every now and then I'd get up and be like, stop. It's okay, I'm sorry. Just stop it. And then I'd go back down and it'd be like, no. It happened. It happened to you. You need to know that it happened to you. I'm like, oh my. And then I'd say, okay, I got it. And be like, no, you don't. I can tell you don't. That's why I'm going to show you a little more, a little worse, a little close up.
Yeah. I think that's an important piece to understand. Like, you have to know when you go, it helps to know the full gamut of what's possible when you work with things that are that powerful. And for people that listen, they're like, oh, all right, it's not for everyone. All right. You have to do some things in prep and you, I don't know, until you do it, you can't really know. But even in doing it, that's my whole point I'm making is that like I had 24 ceremonies where I went through some stuff. I worked on stuff. Some were beautiful, some were amazing in air quotes, like people say, where it was like pure fucking euphoria and bliss and awesome visions of the future and our son being born and things like that. And then other ones were a grind. And then 25 ceremonies into it, it's like, all right, you're ready for this. And then it was, holy shit, it's so much. It was almost too much until it finally, to fade and the transition into gratitude and like, okay, I guess
hope mine's not the opposite and I need to do 25 before I have one of these good ones. I just do 25 off. Fuck, all right, I get it. Because I am worried about that. I did notice the third night because I really had like I got something out like emotion wise from seeing my dog, and I started to fucking really cry, and then knowing all the other people that I had to face in that frame of mind, because that made me hysterical, and that's my dog. You know what I mean? I lost my brother, my father, all the abuse and stuff, and that he died. I don't want to see him, but at the same time, I know that if I do, I'll be better for it. And I'm thirsty for better. I just want to be happier all the time. So I kind of want to do that, but that just knowing that I'm gonna have to do that made me really not look forward to doing ayahuasca again. But at the same time, I know I'm gonna do it. Like whenever I don't have to go to work and you guys go, I'm going. And I don't expect to get a fucking free one. I don't expect to be like, oh man, finally I get it. I mean, that will be a really cool thing if it happened, but I expect, oh, you're back. Well, guess what? I'm going to work. Like, all right.
That's good. So you got off SSRIs for the ceremony.
Yeah. And I had the brain zaps and all kinds of shit that made me really realize that I need to not get back on that. Because it was a big deal. Like
and that was the last time you took them.
Yeah. Well, it was a month. Or maybe, a month it took me because I weaned off. Because I tried to do it before, and I would get angry or get sad, and I'd get back on them because I didn't want to bum out Katie or anybody. I'm like, man, nobody needs to be around this. I'll just keep taking them. But then the doctor that was prescribing me, he was like, why do you need to get off them? And I was like, because you said after a couple of years when I was better, I could get off them. He's like, but they don't hurt you. And I was like, wait, so you're saying just stay on them forever? And then he's like, well, no harm, no foul. And he's like, the statistics of when you get off antidepressants, how many people get depressed again? And I just started to, because I'm not like a book smart guy, but I can smell bullshit pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, you're full of shit. I'm like, fuck this guy. I'm fucking getting on ayahuasca right now. And then I didn't even tell that dude. I just half, 2 weeks, half. And then, I could feel it. And then the brain zap things, it happened at work. My friend who used to do Lexapro, I was like, what the fuck was that? And he's like, did you get a brain zap? And I'm like, what the hell's a brain zap? Why would you know that? He's like, you're getting off antidepressants, right? Lexapro, man, it used to happen to me. And then I told Katie and she Googled it. And then, man, your brain will zap for like a month when you're trying to get off the shit that makes you a little less you, made me fatter, made me lazier, sure, I'm not like super bummed out when I get bad news, but that's never healing. Like I need to know the bad news. I want to feel the worst part about it, whatever it is, and deal with it, face it, not just be like, man, it's not so bad. Well, you really taking that good, Jason? Yeah, I fucking take everything pretty good. I don't really care about anything anymore.
That speaks to so much in society, like with some of the issues we have, not only just with the rise in SSRIs and antidepressants, but also the rise in pain medication. Like how we look at pain, how we treat pain, how we look at depression, how we treat depression, versus like really finding that root cause. Like the pain is the signal for me to pay attention to something going on in my body. And there's a million ways to go about that. But oftentimes, unfortunately, when we go to the doctor, it's malpractice for them not to hook you up with the pain pill.
Well,
right?
But you at the same time would prefer the doctor to give you the way out, to give you a way to dodge it. So it's not entirely their fault. I feel like we're just instinctively wanting you to give me a warm blanket. I don't want the doctor to tell me to face shit. I want the doctor to give me a Band-Aid and tell me it's going to be better. That's what everybody prefers to have. It's like your instinct is to go, oh God, I don't want to know about that. Let me just pretend that didn't happen and not analyze it, not face that it might have done something to you. For a guy that like just keeps peeling back the scars and trying to heal them and realizing that every time I do one, I'm like a happier person with just my day-to-day existence. It's like the key, the fucking key to my life, man, is like sometimes I'm just happy in my car. Sometimes I'm really happy when my kid is pumped on his new sneakers. That just wasn't a thing for me, man. I used to just be fucking dark all the time for no reason. And I thought it was cool. I was like, it's metal. What the fuck you so happy about, you pussy? And I'm like, that's how I'm existing. Like a hard motherfucker. Bummed down all the time. And then I realized being angry is sad. So then I realized I was just a big sad guy with a bunch of fucking scary tattoos because he's super scared trying to keep people away from him. I figured myself out. It's a little too late because I can't get this shit off. This is all a fucking facade. This is all like I'm terrified because I don't trust anybody. You took something from me when I was a kid, and I'm going to take it back. And if you try to take it again, I will fucking kill you. Like mentally fucking scarred, dude. Like I feel it when I talk about it. Like I'm going to fucking cry and kill somebody because somebody did me so bad. But it's not. It's over. I won. I don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Keep trying to find other reasons to be happy, like you assholes. All you people in Mexico smiling all the time. Fucking made me so thirsty.
You had a big smile. Maybe not when you were nursing that first hangover. I was hurting after the first day.
Yeah, that's tough.
I was like, we had, so to paint a picture, you know, Aubrey hooked up this fucking beautiful experience out in Cabo for Whitney's 30th birthday, and we had a full staff at this house that were making drinks.
I've never
baristas.
seen it. Yeah,
it was,
I've never been involved in anything like that.
Our own chefs, the whole nine. And don't get me wrong, I don't live this way. I don't roll like that. But it was cool to be a part of.
Yes, it was.
And it was fucking unique. So you know, we're out at the pool. There's not many clothes being worn, and you know, this guy keeps coming back up to us with a tray full of fucking the most delicious margaritas I've ever had. I could taste the alcohol. There's tequila, but it didn't taste bad.
No, I wasn't having a bad time.
We put a few of those down, and I don't know how old you are.
47.
47.
Too old to have that many
I'm 37. Yeah, I fucking felt it the next day. You got to pay for something like that.
Yeah, it was the happiest I've ever been in that much pain. So I was still happy. I was still having a good time. I didn't have a bad time at all. Even when I had one of those dip tobacco things that
the snooze.
Yeah, but I had one after I already did not feel very good. And that was the complete reverse. Like all of a sudden I was like, why is that burning? It was like, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh no, what have I done to myself? And I'm like, this is the worst I've felt the whole time. And then like super hot chicks were rubbing my back and stuff. And I'm like, it's still good. I feel like I'm going to vomit, but it's still good. I feel, I feel like I just got this really bad pain in my stomach and my face, but I feel loved. So it's okay.
Yeah, there was lots of love there.
That place is amazing. I'm super in love with people from there.
Hell yeah, brother.
Some more than others.
No doubt. Well, shit, man. What else are we going to talk about here? We touched ayahuasca. We touched fighting. What are some of the things that you do now to enhance your quality of life?
Well, I got a infrared sauna and I got the fridge, the cold plunge.
Oh, no shit.
I got it yesterday.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I kind of haven't figured out how to do it.
You haven't loaded it yet?
Oh, I loaded it.
So it's full of water.
Yeah. And I put too much water in it and I made it too cold.
Okay. That happened to me. I froze it to a solid block once.
Well, I didn't freeze it, but it didn't freeze. It looked great. And I did the sauna thing and then I got in there and I'm like watching the timer and I'm like, I don't start shaking usually in the first like 50 seconds. I'm like, this is way colder than it's supposed to be.
What was the temperature you had it at?
I don't have the temperature
thing
come on.
It's like $10 on Amazon for a little floaty
I just got the fridge yesterday. Right. Somebody Googled. Right. I posted last night, me in it going, maybe it's too cold. And then people started telling me about this temperature thing that you can put in your freezer. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do that. But in the meantime, I only did like a minute last night because I was like, my teeth don't chatter in the first minute. Usually that's like way later.
That's good though. I think it's important. I'll let mine fluctuate between like 35 and 55. And if it's at 35, right around freezing, I'll get in there for 1 to 3 minutes, maybe longer if I'm pushing myself. In the mid 40s, that's where I like it most, like low 40s. Then I can do 5-10 minutes. When I get to the 55, then I'll hit 15 minutes. But you can scale it like that. So, but I think it's
Katie because she got back problems from that back surgery, and that's why I bought it. Because I go to the spa and I do it, but then I realized she's really hurt and doesn't have that athlete mentality. She doesn't see the purpose in it. I'm like, I'm better every day if I go in this cold plunge. And you have back pain. Why are you not in it? Like you have to go in every day. So I made her get in it. And then I realized that it was too cold but if I had it like the 55, I think I could get her to stay in there. And I just want to warm her up. I don't want to go, lift all this shit, take this and then get in the freezing thing and feel the pain, focus on the pain. You be a fucking man. Like she's not going to stay. I need this to be like a routine in your life. Like every morning, let's get up and do the infrared, get hot as hell. And then get in there. You'll feel way better. Like, because your back it's pretty bad. She just went to the doctor yesterday. She might have to have like another surgery.
Ooh, fuck, man. That's tough to hear.
But it's up to her. She has a year to do something with it. And I try to tell her, like, there's a thing, you know, you can mentally make yourself better. Like, if you think about it all the time, I would be thinking about having my back straighter, and I would do things to make it feel less pain. And I would always think about it, even when I'm talking to people. It's like I'm flat-footed, so now I chant salsa music all the time. And when I'm talking to people and I'm standing, my toes are touching the ground on purpose, and my heel is not, because I'm thinking about making my feet faster all the time, even when it's not feet faster time. That's how you get better at stuff.
Yeah, and there is like a
Really bad salsa dancer.
I definitely want to talk about that because I forgot about it. Now you bring it up. I remember you telling me that in Cabo.
Try for hours, dude.
For Katie,
mirror.
like it's not just pain relieving, it's going to lower inflammation. Like, so there is like a medical benefit to her to be in that. And, you know, to your point, I remember I got this download before I put my dad through a mushroom ceremony. And the download was, make him enjoy it like as best you can. Still give him something where he can do the work, because that was the whole goal, was to do the work with my dad. But don't blow the fucking rails off. Right. So it's a one and done, and he'll never do it again. Right? Exactly. You got to. For people listening, they're like, "Well, I'm not putting my dad through a mushroom experience." That's totally fine. But think, if you introduce anyone to something new, and just think back to any personal trainer you had from fucking 24-hour fitness or Globo Gym. They're like, "Oh, fucking crush that guy, and he'll be back for more because nobody's going to work him out harder than me." And it's like, no, bitch, that's unsustainable.
Right. And people get super pumped on a life-changing move, but you don't realize that, you know, like if you're going to eat well for a little bit because you feel like you're fat, it's not for a little bit. It's supposed to be forever, because otherwise you go back to the same thing of, I got fat and I got to do this diet thing again. If you're sore every now and then, like I told my friend the other day, he said he's been sleeping well. He's kind of out of shape guy. And I'm like, do you work out? No, I would never do that. And I'm like, what about, let's say I was right. If you worked out and then you slept brilliantly that night, would you consider working out every day? And I could see that he wanted to say no. You know what I mean? Like, no, I would. That sounds fucking ridiculous. And I'm like, but you're coming to me on the radio saying you can't sleep, and I'm giving you a potential one. You could check it out. I could be wrong, but you're not even willing to check it out. And then before we even check it out, you've already admitted to me, if it worked, you still be like, oh, because you hate the thought of working out. It's like maybe somebody did some really hard workout on you, but if you just started doing something different, like some people, I can tell, I love this guy. He's a great friend. I love Will, but he is not going to work out. He's seen me get better. He knows you guys. He knows Onnit. He knows everybody and how they're all happy. He's seen the happy and the fitness. He's aware of these people. Nope. I'm going to go to the burger store on the way home, get a burger, and I'm not going to understand why I don't sleep that well forever. The end.
Yeah, that's like Joey Pantaleone in The Matrix when he's talking to the bad guy. The just about like why did I take the blue pill? Right. You know, like I want to eat this steak and know that it's a real steak, and just not like you're aware. There's certain people in the planet right now, as consciousness changes and people are starting to grow and figure shit out, that they see what's on the other side and they're like, no, fuck that. I'm going back to McDonald's.
Right. Because people like you show too much, you know, that like, cause you do too much. Like I admire you and I think it's awesome what the things that you do and the things you've achieved and how deep you'll go to like make yourself a better person. But I also understand that for the average person seeing you, that's terrifying. You could scare them into wanting to be a part of it because it's almost unreachable to look like you and do what you do.
Well, but there's
a fine. That doesn't mean you shouldn't. You can't write him off because he's actually really onto something. It surprises me so many times when I get that you're like, well, I'm never going to be as fit as Kyle Kingsbury. So what? Just don't do anything? Like, why don't you do a little bit of what Kyle does and see how that works? It always surprises me that the average person that is like intrigued in it, would like to be fitter, would like to be healthier, like it's on their mind, but you're too fit for them to even bother to do any of it because you won't be you. And I'm like, what about if you're just a little happier and lighter you? But people don't see that a lot. I feel like it's like really hot chicks.
That's the whole thing, though. You got to have like I didn't start with all this shit and have a fucking chest freezer in my house and do all the things that I do overnight. You layer them in one by one. and you see what works and what doesn't. And it's different for everyone. But like having that piece by piece mentality, that just comes from a continued hunger to do better. Like I do want my quality of life to be better. And I know that there's room for improvement in all areas. I don't need to try to tackle them all at once. I can just see what works in one department, and then I'll move to a different department and see what works, and kind of just inch my way along until what you see is where I'm at now.
Yeah, but your benefits shake people. It's like Whitney. She's too hot on Instagram. People can't handle it. They're just pissed at her because she's too magnificent for you to comprehend. It's like the closest thing to normal people getting to be athletes is they drink Gatorade. You know? And that's a lie.
The least
they
athletic
got you.
thing.
You're just drinking a Coke.
Yeah.
With no bubbles.
So I definitely want to talk about dancing because that's something that I've wanted to get into with Tosh. And I'm sure there's people shaking their heads.
You want to dance?
Fuck yeah.
Wait, you don't dance? When did you want to start dancing? Did you just start? Did I trigger it?
No, you didn't trigger
it. You want to fucking dance with me?
You brought it back. I would love to dance.
That's some shit going on right now?
That would be great. Maybe that'll be the next main event at Ellis Mania. Is us like literally just dancing.
I'd way rather that
could be cool.
Punch me again. That fucking hurt.
We had,
still got spots in this eye. You know that? Whenever the sun's on me, I can just fucking things floating around in there.
Still? Mm-hmm. That's a good compliment. Not that I wanted that to happen to you, though.
Every time it happens, I'm like, fuck, fucking lights and shit.
But we were looking at like what are cool things, because we do. It's really important for. We don't need to get into the polyamory discussion, but even just like the relationship discussion, it's really important, especially for parents, to continue to have dates with their significant other.
Yeah,
it's really important, and that's something that I failed to accomplish until opening up the thing and seeing like, oh, this is glaring in my face now. It's a big deal. Let's make that happen.
You're not a hopeless romantic?
No. But that said, like, what do you do? Like it's cheap. Dinner and a movie is usually pretty cheap and it's fun. We love going to the movies, but there's definitely more to life than that. So like, can we learn something new together?
It's tough, Kyle, when you're a destroyer. You like me, you're attracted to me because I am a destroyer. And now you want me to get you flowers. I fuck shit up. I don't understand. What is love? I am a warlord. And you're into it. You're into it. You're into warlord people. So I get you. It's going to be, it's tough. Like for me, I didn't understand how to be romantic because I worked very hard on being a Neanderthal, I'm a crazy son of a bitch. What? Love? What? Hugging shit in public? Had to make some serious adjustments in my life before I did ayahuasca. I feel sorry for you, man. You're too tough. And some bitches just can't understand it. You know what I mean? And like, he needs to take you to the movies. I'm like, he's doing the best he fucking can, all right? You're lucky he didn't just rip a brick in half and throw it through a window, because that's what's supposed to be happening right now. Like, I'm supposed to take shrooms, get naked, paint myself blue, and hit somebody in the fucking head with a rock. That's what I came here to do. And now I'm making these weird adjustments, going to the grocery store and getting roses. It's fucking tough out there for us, man.
Yeah, you got it. But I'm just thinking like past what like a traditional date looks like. Can we learn something new? Can we do an activity together that brings us together, but also it, enriches each of us individually? And I think dancing is fucking cool for that, because I'm not super coordinated. I'm coordinated at fighting. I'm coordinated at knowing how to run and cut lines in football and doing different things like that, because I've drilled it
similar though,
over and over again.
You're going to pick it up faster with all those backgrounds. You're going to pick it up faster.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's to me, dancing is like what's the footwork pattern things you do? The step you.
Oh, the ladders.
The ladders.
Yeah, ladder drills.
Because I've been doing tons of that shit for angles with boxing, and I can tell from me practicing salsa dancing that my feet have got faster. Like my footwork is a little bit faster. Even my coach said, he's like, dude, you're 1,000 times faster through this thing than you used to be. And I'm like, I know why. Because I'm always poorly dancing salsa at home at my house. I put headphones on. I listen to Mark Anthony, and they got this little mirror in my fucking radio room. And I just fucking, come on, motherfucker, my hips. This hips is a problem. I'm a bit tight, Gotta fucking loosen it up.
Hip mobility for salsa dancing.
I don't know, because I get all these, I'm super white. There's something wrong with me. It's like denying the rhythm, I got to fight this fucking uncoordinated beast that just wants to
fight the genetics out of you.
Just like I can tell. It's like I'm thinking about it too much. Just got to let it go, But
have you microdosed during dancing?
Yep.
How did that go?
See, I don't want to dance around anybody because I don't have it, and I just want to, because I can tell I dance better when I'm by myself, because I'm just trying to feel the music and try to do, because there's steps. And I keep thinking about the steps. You got to try and think about the steps until they become natural. And they're not natural yet. I still have to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's in my head. So once that's gone, because I'll start dancing and forget about the 1, 2, 3, and so will my legs. And then I'll be like, God damn it, you look great up here, but your fucking legs aren't doing it. Well, come on, legs. And then legs start doing it, and then hips don't do it. I'm like, man, this is a craft, and it's a craft that doesn't hurt. So this really intrigues me to be, because I found out there's like these Cuban clubs where old guys wear like these cool flower shirts with gold chains, and super hot chicks grind on their leg and shit because they know how to dance salsa good. So I could just go have a couple of rums, smoke a cigar, and just have some hot bitch grind on my leg, and then hey, I'm out of here.
Are there any out here in LA?
That's yes.
I'm going with you.
You're not coming until I figure out how to dance first.
Same.
But apparently girls go and they don't know how to do it, but because they're cute and they're kind of doing it, they get away with it. But he was like, you just go in there, man, just move around with everybody. Apparently it's like an apartment, and then you go to the back of the apartment and then go down some staircase like it's a secret club.
Oh, hey-oh.
Yeah. My coach is Cuban. So
the plot thickened.
It's going to be sick, but I'm not ready for it yet.
All right. More to work on.
Way more work. Because when I watch my coach, that's when it's very obvious. I'll do it at home, and I'm like, I think I got it. And then I'll be like, Coach, look at this. Turn Mark Anthony on. And he's like, whew. Not yet.
Dude, it's been great having you here.
Thanks for having me, mate. It's
yeah,
always
fuck
good to
yeah.
see, you know that.
Where can people find you online and listen
at
to you?
Wolfmate on Instagram and Ellismate on Twitter, which is super professional. But the Jason Ellis Show on SiriusXM, you can listen for free on SiriusXM on demand. You can get the app and listen for 2 weeks for free. So you can check out my show, 103, channel 103. And if you don't like it, fucking see you later. Fair enough. And then the podcast, High and Dry with Mike Catherwood. It's available every Friday, downloadable everywhere, I'm told.
Fuck yeah, brother.
All right.
Thank you.